because I have many stories about malaria. Myself, coming from Ghana, West Africa, you know, I have been fighting mosquito as a child, and I continue to fight mosquitoes. So you can imagine that this is a very dear subject to my heart, because my mother told me that I used to have bouts of malaria every malaria season, and maybe that's why I'm not as huge as Dr. Kavhu, because I've been fighting this, the mosquito and the diseases. And as you know, malaria was one of the strategies we in West Africa used to take away some of the colonial masters. We fought them with the malaria as well as other things. Anyway, so I'm very, very pleased to be here and to share this podium representing the UN and also partners. And as Dr. Kamwe has said, partners have been working with the E8 from its inception, and we are very proud of what we have achieved. And if you look back about a decade between the year 2000 and 2010, malaria enjoyed a lot of malaria elimination enjoyed a lot of progress, to the point that globally malaria mortality reduced by 60%. In the SADC region by about 50%. And interestingly, in Namibia, about 92%. So Namibia was almost there towards elimination. And so why did that happen? Why did that happen? There were a few factors which were very important. Basically, one, we had the right tools, or we had new tools to fight malaria. We had the insecticide-treated mosquito nets, the rapid diagnostic tests, we had more effective medications. Secondly, we also had strong political commitment demonstrated at the global level through the Global Malaria, the Abuja Declaration, and also the AU Ministerial Conference in 2007 on malaria elimination by the year 2020. Interestingly, what is this year? 2020. Have we eliminated malaria? So something is not added up, or has not added up. So although we have done well, we can still do better, and we should. And so these then led to the birth of the SADC framework on malaria elimination, then Elimination 8, and the wonderful work that Elimination 8 has done. We really appreciate the work that Ambassador Kamwe and your team have done and continue to do to eliminate malaria in the sub-region and now in the entire African region. Now, between 2014 and 2018, something very interesting happened in Namibia, and in fact, globally, because we started seeing the reverse of the gains that we have made, whereby we had resistance to the insecticide that we were using. One, we also had decrease in donor funding. as well as if you take Namibia, for example, Namibia had a marked reversal. Namibia had done so well economically and in all grounds, so as part of the promotion, Namibia was promoted to become an upper middle income country. And you know what that means? When you are promoted, then the support no longer comes to you. So that was a major factor in Namibia, bringing the incidence of malaria high up. And also, we realized that there was a lot of cross-border importation of cases. And as we heard earlier, malaria or mosquitoes don't require visas, don't require anything at the border. They just flow, they just move. And so, whilst we are busy working on the borders, they are traveling along and they are biting us and they are getting malaria. So these were very important factors over that period. And now the issue is how we try to address this. Basically, looking at funding, looking at the mosquito. You know, how do we deal with this problem? At the moment, the WHO is helping Namibia in a project we call multi-country larvicidin demonstration project. And this is a project where we are integrating vector management. So we are not using only one approach, multi-approach to address the issue of the mosquito and also malaria. We are also intensifying our efforts so far as cross-border issues are concerned. That we know that no one country can do it alone, so there's a lot of cooperation. I think this has been addressed to a very large extent by the earlier speaker. So these are some of the concrete things, and then we are advocating strongly for higher and heightened funding, especially domestic funding. We heard about the fact that you need a national coach to win a World Cup. We have to investigate that. But I think you need a hybrid of that. So we need all the partners to be involved so far as funding is concerned. Therefore, the principles are that we have about 5 or so key areas that we want to intensify, and E8 is working a lot in these areas. Namely, strong country ownership with progressive increased domestic funding. We cannot do without domestic funding, and therefore they need to really find a more innovative approach to mobilize funds locally. Secondly, to tailor response to the country specificity and context, in that no one size fits all, and that all countries have peculiarities, and therefore beginning to see how we can use the various peculiarities of countries to address their particular need. Thirdly, equity in access to health services. And this underscores the importance of universal health coverage. And all people at risk of malaria, particularly pregnant women and children, must have access to primary health care, and that wherever they need the services, so far as prevention, diagnosis, and treatment are